And welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television. It's coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am June Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. Now the news info. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will deliver a presidential address before a joint session of the National Assembly on Thursday, June 12, as part of events marking Nigeria's Democracy Day celebration. The event is scheduled to be held in the House of Representatives chamber of the National Assembly complex, Abuja. This was confirmed in a statement by the spokesperson of the House of Representatives, Akeem Rotimi, referring on international memorandum issued by the clerk of the House. Yahya Danzaria, which officially notified lawmakers of the proceedings. The special joint sitting will begin at 11 a.m. with preliminary activities before the arrival of President Tinubu, who is expected at noon. In the meantime, the federal government has declared Thursday, June 12, a national public holiday in observance of Democracy Day, marking 26 years of uninterrupted civil rule in Africa's most populous nation. The announcement was made in a statement issued by Magdalene Ajani, Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Interior. The statement says Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunjojo made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, extending congratulations to citizens and emphasizing the importance of the milestone. As Salah, a symbol of faith, unity and resilience, enters its fourth day, Muslims defy economic hardship to celebrate the festivity of sacrifice with joy and gratitude. Over now to Samuel Odi.
Muslims gather to celebrate Eid Mubarak, also known as Salah, commemorating Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his son Ismail as an act of obedience to Allah. This celebration also involves distributing meat and food to the poor and other religions.
Alhamdulillah for Almighty Allah that has made it possible for us to witness yet another Eid al-Adha. Started yesterday, down to today. Tomorrow, by Monday, we'll be rounding it up. This Eid started during the lifetime of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, who dedicates all his life and his soul to Almighty Allah, and in seeking for a favor or blessing from Allah,
slaughtering ram, giving it to those needy, those ones who are desperate, who doesn't have anything to take. If you look at it, you see it's another form of uniting the Muslim Ummah.
Residents in Abuja gathered in various locations to share, celebrate and reflect on the message of Eid Mubarak by Prophet Ibrahim.
I am celebrating my Salah today and I am happy to meet my friends.
It's part of our religion. It unites all of us. Meeting at the mosque, praying for the Eid prayer. So having time for family and friends, both the Muslim and the Christians, to please stay united. And this country is the only country we have.
As we celebrate Salah, let us remember the importance of faith, sacrifice and generosity. May this blessed occasion bring us closer to Allah and to each other. Happy Eid Mubarak. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
Each of the 3,200 pilgrims from Sokoto State have received 1,000 Saudi riyal, an equivalent of 450,000 naira, a Salah gift from Governor Ahmed Ali of Sokoto State. The governor made the announcement during a visit to Sokoto contingent in Mina, Niger State, where he congratulated them on the successful completion of the Hajj exercise. Ali stated that the gesture was aimed at supporting the pilgrims financially as they prepare for their return journey to Nigeria. Now, in another development, 9 persons have lost their lives in a fatal motor accident in Kamad village, Region Local Government Area of Jigawa State. Jigawa State Police Command said the accident, which occurred on Saturday at about 2 p.m., involved two Golf 3 saloon vehicles and left several other persons injured. The State Police Public Relations Officer, Silsu Adam, stated that one of the vehicles was driven by Adamu Samisu, a 35-year-old man from Hadija local government, and heading to Gunjugu town from Abuja. Over to Governor Hyacinth Alia has gained support from fellow clergymen in the face of mounting calls for a state of emergency in Benue State. Global TV's correspondent Felicity Ndere reports that the Benue chapter of the Charismatic Bishop Conference of Nigeria rejected calls from some of their colleagues for the declaration of emergency rule during a press briefing held in Makati, the state capital. Her report.
The recent wave of deadly attacks on vulnerable communities in Benue State has heightened insecurity and sparked mixed reactions from residents and observers alike, with some individuals and groups calling on President Tinubu to declare a state of emergency in Benue. In response to the calls, Archbishop Alexander Nyoike, State Overseer of the Charismatic Bishops Conference of Nigeria, said Governor Hyacinth Alia, as a fellow clergyman, deserves the support of religious leaders, emphasizing that Benue needs unity, not a state of emergency, to confront its common enemy.
As fathers of faith, when you have a son and a brother in the vineyard and is doing well, you say, my brother, keep it on. I must say thank you, Mr. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. As you earlier on said, you are standing by the Benue people. We say continue to stand with us and continue to stand with our governor. He is our brother in the vineyard, and we are praying seriously, and what I'm expressing here is pray ye and watch.
The Archbishop stressed that at this critical time, Benue requires unity and collective support for the governor to succeed. He referenced biblical teachings that calls on believers to respect authority, noting that leadership is divinely ordained.
We cannot be against anybody that is saying anything. What we know is there's no authority that is set on earth that is not from God. Any authority that is set on earth comes from God. And the Bible says you must be submissive to the authority. We are the state chapter here. Yes, we are prophets, but we are submissive to the authority. We want to call on Benue citizens and the Christian body not to join the people who kill the child and divide the child. Let the child live so that tomorrow we will use, and tomorrow we will send, and tomorrow the child will feed us.
Clerics reaffirmed their support for Governor Alia and praised President Bola Tinubu for his continued commitment to the people of Benue, particularly his recent directive for the Chief of Army Staff to pay a 2-day operational visit to the state for on-the-spot assessment in response to the escalating insecurity. In Makudi, Felicity Ndere, Global TV News.
Former Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, Osita Okechukwu, has declared the failure of successive governments to implement the OS Electoral Reform Committee recommendation on electoral reform in the past 17 years. Okechukwu urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to muster the political will and clear the year's debt burden by amending the constitution. He charged the president to make public appointments of chairmen and members of both national and state electoral commission mandatory. No fewer than 66 parcels of loud, a strong strain of cannabis packaged as green tea has been intercepted by the operative of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the import shed of the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. A statement signed by the Director of Media and Advocacy of the agency, Femi Babafemi, says the seizure made on Thursday, 5th June 2025 was based on credible intelligence received ahead of the arrival of consignment at the cargo wing of the airport. Elsewhere, Adamawa State Governor Amadu Fintiri has approved the creation of state-level committee to combat drug abuse in Adamawa State. This development was stated by Farata during a church service held to honor the outgoing Adamawa NDLEA Commandant Samson Agbolu. The committee, which aims to bolster the effort of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA, will be chaired by the state's Deputy Governor, Professor Kilipawa Fatura. The Nigerian Railway Corporation has announced the introduction of additional train service on its Lagos Ibadan and Abuja Kaduna Standard Gauge corridor to manage the increased volume of passengers returning from Eid Kabir celebrations. The managing director of the corporation, Dr. Kayode Perfua, said the supplementary trips on Lagos Ibadan route are scheduled to operate on Monday, while services on the Abuja Kaduna corridor will be extended through Tuesday. Over now to former military head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, says the Biafra civil war was never his choice. The former military ruler spoke after he was honored with a Lifetime Integrity and Achievement Award at the 5th Convention of the Christian Men's Fellowship Abuja Anglican Diocese in the nation's capital. He described the civil war as the most difficult period of his life, disclosing that his decision to persecute the Biafra civil war was never born out of hatred. The North Central All Progressive Congress APC Forum has declared that its push for Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang to join the party is based on a directive from above. The forum had been calling on Mutfwang of the People's Democratic Party PDP to defect to the APC. However, the forum's attempts to woo Mutfwang are being resisted by some leaders of the APC in Plateau State who believe the governor's defection would automatically hand him the party's structure, as well as a governorship ticket for the 2027 election. The Nigerian Union of Teachers, NUT, has faulted the federal government's directive mandating a full transition to computer-based testing for WAEC and NECO examinations by 2026, warning that such a move will not end examination malpractice in the country. NUT National President Comrade Audu Amba stated this during an interview in Abuja, saying the real issue driving malpractice is the overemphasized on paper qualifications, and they noted that the Nigerian society placed too much value on certificates and grades without considering the actual intelligence or capacity of the student. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has warned of likely thunderstorms and rainfall in most parts of Nigeria between Sunday, yesterday, June 9th, and Tuesday, tomorrow, June 11th, 2025. The alert contained in NIMET's Weather Outlook release in Abuja forecasts a wet start to the week with heavy downpours expected in the north, north-central, and southern parts of the country. In the afternoon-evening hours, there are prospects of thunderstorms with rains over parts of Taraba, Adamawa, Katsina, Kano, Zamfara, Kaduna, Jigawa, Borno, Gombe, and Bauchi. You are watching the live broadcast of AM News. When AM News returns, Minister of Budget says economy short of expectations. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of the break. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is AM News on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business styles, and Nigeria marks the second anniversary of President Bola Tinubu's administrations. The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, has declared that the country's economy, though still facing challenges, is firmly on a path of recovery. Bagudu made this known after a courtesy visit to President Tinubu at his Lagos residence. Uli Agbemofwegbe has reported.
The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, noted that bold structural reforms initiated by the administration have begun to yield results, particularly in strengthening investor confidence and unlocking fiscal space for development. He highlighted the removal of long-standing subsidies on fuel, foreign exchange and electricity as key to freeing up resources previously drained by unsustainable expenditures. The minister said the recovered resources are now being redirected into strategic sectors such as infrastructure, agriculture, education, security, consumer credit and digital innovation.
The additional revenue we are putting it to infrastructure use, we are putting it to consumer credit, we are putting it to agriculture, we are putting it to additional money in security, we are putting it to additional money on human capital development and innovations, digital skills, so that we can generate employment.
Bagudu added that the reforms have restored a measure of confidence among domestic and foreign investors. Uyi Agmofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
The Deputy National Chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Highway and Transportation Engineers, Engineer Dr. Bola Madishu, says Nigeria requires an estimated $3 trillion investment to meet the infrastructure demands of its growing population of over 200 million people. He gave this revelation while speaking at a mentorship and scholarship program organized by an institution in collaboration with the Civil Engineering Department of Enugu State University of Science and Technology. The Minister of Steel Development, Shaibu Abubakar Audi, says the federal government has reached an advanced stage in its bid to revive the Commentos Ajikote Steel Company in Kogi State. The minister disclosed this while hosting stakeholders of the All Progressive Congress in Kogi State at his country home in Ogbonicha, a full local government area of the state. Audi stated that the federal government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the original equipment manufacturers of the plant to that effect. States and local government owed a combined 4.09 trillion naira to banks and the Central Bank of Nigeria as of December 2024. Fresh data released in CBN's latest quarterly statistical bulletin showed that the figure represented a slight reduction of 112 billion naira or 2.7% compared to the 4.20 trillion naira recorded in December 2023, suggesting a marginal improvement in the subnational debt profile. A breakdown of the December 2024 data showed that the commercial and merchant banks accounted for the largest portion of the debt at 2.41 trillion naira, representing 58.9% of the total. This marked a deadline from the 2.64 trillion naira owed to them. At Green Energy International Limited has concluded the first crude oil export from its newly constructed Otakikbo onshore terminal, marking a major milestone in Nigeria's oil and gas industry. Now, the company says the export was completed at about 2 p.m. on Sunday, June 8th, when an off-taker vessel chartered by Shell lifted the maiden crude cargo from the terminal, located in Otakikbo, marginal field, River State. The terminal is Nigeria's first privately built and operated onshore crude oil facility in over 5 decades. Masked and armed federal agents have carried out sweeping immigration raids in Los Angeles, while others pounced on migrants at a New York courthouse in forceful display of U.S. President Donald Trump's crackdown on people without documentation. Priscilla Obasi tells us. That report will be brought in a subsequent bulletin. In another development, President Donald Trump has warned that there would be serious consequences if tech mogul Elon Musk funds Democratic candidates to run against Republicans who vote in favor of GOP's sweeping budget bill. The president also said he has no desire to repair his relationship with Musk after a feud between the two men erupted into public view. Trump's comments were the most extensive since he and Musk exchanged threats and attacked on X and Truth Social earlier this week. In preparation for UN-organized Ocean Conference, UNOC, Greenpeace International Delegation to conference has announced the NGO's objectives. The conference is aimed at rallying global leaders also into supporting the momentum on depth sea mining, a contentious practice opposed by 33 nations so far. Over to Uyi Agbomofregwe's report. We apologize. That report will be brought in our subsequent bulletin. And in sports now, Nigerian Sports Commission has finally inaugurated two vital committees, the Election Petitions Committee and the Election Appeal Committee, as part of its effort to ensure transparency, fairness and integrity in the conduct of Sports Federation elections. A statement signed by Dr. Kehinde Ajayi, the Commission's Director of Process, this election was made in line with national standards and its renewed commitment to excellence in sports governance. Coco Gauff has won the French Open title for the first time by defeating top-ranked Anya Sabalenka 6-7, 6-2, 6-4 in Saturday's final. The second-ranked Gauff came out on top of a contest that was full of tension and momentum, swinging to claim her second major trophy after the 2023 US Open, where she also came from a set down to beat Sabalenka in the final. Now, as Global AM News comes to an end, let's take a quick look at our top stories again. Brought to you that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will deliver a presidential address before the joint session of the National Assembly on Thursday, June 12, as part of events marking Nigerian Democracy Day celebration. In business, as Nigeria marks the second anniversary of President Bola Tinubu's administration, the Minister of Budget and Economy Planning, Atiku Bagudu, has declared that the country's economy, though still facing challenges, is firmly on the path of recovery. And in sports now, MAX and armed federal agents have carried out sweeping immigration raids in Los Angeles, while others pounce on migrants at the New York courthouse in forceful display of U.S. President Donald Trump's crackdown on people without documentation. And finally, in sport, Nigerian Sports Commission has finally inaugurated two vital committees, the Election Petitions Committee and the Election Appeals Committee, as part of its effort to ensure transparency, fairness and integrity in the conduct of Sports Federation elections. And that's it on Global TV AM News. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Global Morning continues shortly. Stay tuned.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
and at the same time keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome to Global Morning.
Death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure.
If you don't say we have several more stories,
the legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
When you call the police station, before they even leave, they take permission from the I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve the struggle with the ASU strike.
Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a lie. The president never gave me any deadline.
Welcome to Global Morning.
Death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure.
It depends on we have some more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call the police station, before they even leave, they take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
the struggle, the ASU strike.
Education volunteer that said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a life. The president never gave me any deadline.
It's good to still have you right there. Welcome back from the AM News. And of course, this is what we do. We make sure you are informed because we value you and you have the right to know. My name is Ramsey Enoch and this is Global Morning. And of course, the Monday Tag Team Monday, wherever you want to take it from, if it is Monday Tag Team, if it is Tag Team Monday, because that is tied rope for goat, tied goat for rope, all is the same thing, as a matter of fact. The euphoria is still on. And of course, someone with me here is looking like someone that enjoyed the Salah break more than everyone else, even though we never had a break. Good morning, Jumai.
Good morning, my co-host, not the person than Ramsey Enoch Agbo. It's great to be here. It's a beautiful time, and to each and every one of you out there, good morning. I am Jumai Manti. Salah, people are at home. The
celebration is still on.
The celebration is still on. It's an amazing time. Of course, you know my dad is a Muslim, so at the same time, you know, Salah and all of that. But you know,
so you just want to tell us now that you're extra.
Of course.
Is that what it means? Please don't salivate too much. You know, don't salivate too much. I think this Salah celebration, we had enough. We had enough. You know, someone wrote on his status, he said, oh, this is now time for me to know if I really have Muslim friends. You know, and the other persons will say, well, this Salah is one of the best. Even though some persons are saying the economy has restricted them from so many things, but the sharing, the showing of love have actually covered all of that. And people travel, like we said, the celebration is still on. Today is public holiday, but we need to be here so that we can keep you abreast of what is happening in Nigeria. So let me just ask, I'm asking all of you too, so you can just respond from where you are. Tell us how the Salah celebration was for you.
It went very well. It went very well, thank you. And of course, shout out to my amazing dad who is watching right now, Alhaji Jimo Muhammad Ibrahim. But at the same time, he makes it worthwhile. You know, the part for me that he does is the sharing that he does to neighbors, to people around, individuals, just to show love, just to show care and all of that. It's very important at that level. Let's not misunderstand it. It's not about what the slaughter when it comes to ram, when it comes to cow, but bringing together people together in love, in harmony. It's a plus for me. It's I think that's the take home for me.
Those that were not in the office on Friday, I know some persons will be regretting because we also had a full share. Really? Should I call it combo? I don't know. I don't know the name to use. I don't know the name to use because we also have it, and it appears this Salah celebration for some persons is one of the best because I discovered that you don't have to be a Muslim, all right, to be shown love during Salah, because a lot of people felt it. People from people who are Christians, okay, and some Muslim who they have not. You know, a lot of people felt it too, and of course, I think we should be saying a very big thanks to acting MD Ajia because it was a very wonderful one. I don't think
I've felt Salah celebration like this, but I think I'm grateful that these things are coming like this. I just feel, I pray it continues, right? I pray it continues. I'm showing of love to people, especially the have not, I just feel every Nigerian should embrace this. Let it not just be during celebrations. Like I tell people, Valentine's, showing of love, should not only be on the 14th of February.
No, it should be an everyday affair. Like I always tell, like you see, a lot of things are happening when it comes to the country at the moment. A lot of people will tell you that, oh, Jumai, there is no money for all of this and all of that. But the fact that you are alive, it gives you hope that tomorrow will be better. I'm a positive person. I always tell people, just stay positive. When you have that positive vibe all around, it's there like a continuum. It keeps coming, it keeps flowing. Despite what is happening, people will actually tell you that they had an amazing Salah. Some will tell you it might not be so much, but at least I could do one or two things. That's why I always.
That's the beauty of it.
So much. It shouldn't be millions or billions that you have or whatever. The little that you have will go a long way for someone, and to the fact that you understand that it's the coming together of family and friends, and to just that significance of that day of love that it brings, and the unity, the togetherness. That's how we should be. That was how it was at the inception. It's like, it doesn't matter whether it's Salah, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Easter, whatever, just let it be an everyday affair to show love to someone, like you mentioned.
That's true.
Very important.
That's true. We just wish all the Muslim faithfuls Barka Salah. I don't know if you've noticed, this holiday is going to be a little long, especially for people who are used to absconding from office because of holidays. Remember, June 12th is around the corner.
Yes,
then Friday was a public holiday.
Yes.
Today is a public holiday.
Yes.
Is it Thursday also? It's still going to be a public holiday.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's a chain of public holiday, and some persons may not even go to office again on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, and Wednesday, especially for maybe some essential workers. But some civil servants, you may not see them in office on Tuesday and on Wednesday. Then Thursday is public holiday. Then they'll say, what am I going to do in the office on Friday? Saturday is weekend. Let me just relax. So, like a joke, they've given themselves a full week holiday. I'm just wondering, how is that going to affect the economy?
Well, it depends, basically. Like I always say, there's always a balance for everything. Once you know that, you must have, you will not be, are you kidding me right now, in the economy that we are, to leave your work bare? I'm sure they must have done all the necessary documentations and all of that to leave this gap that individuals will need. But at the same time, when you come back, you know that it's a rush. It's a rush back to back, just to meet up with the target for the ones that you have missed throughout the day. And of course now, like we said, it's Global Morning, still talking about Salah celebration. A lot of people are still celebrating. As yesterday was almost okay, people are winding down a bit, and today, which is a public holiday for individuals to rest. Some will be many will resume tomorrow, definitely. But at the same time, we are here. There's no holiday for us. We're always here. It's very important.
We're always here to make you happy. We're always here to give you the feel of everything happening nationally and internationally.
Yes.
So that's the reason we are here. So keep showing love, but then remember that if you has come from office on Tuesday and Wednesday, and of course Friday, it's not official. That's your own public holiday. The only public holiday we know is Monday and of course Thursday, as the case may be.
Yes.
All right, about this time we'll go on a quick break. Then when we return, we'll bring you what the national dailies are saying. What are the newspapers saying? All of that will be coming on your way after this break. Stay with us. Global Morning continues.
You are welcome back from that very short break, and of course at about this time it's the newspaper review segment, and we'll be starting with the first paper of the day, which is the Punch newspaper, giving us some very punchy headlines. And beside the nameplate of the Punch newspaper, it says Discos raise bill 107% despite poor power. And you can find that read on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. Now below that it says Matawale Zamfara governor face off over defection plot. And that you can find on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. And then the Star story there says ground rent 34 embassies risk closure Tuesday. And the writer says FCTA probes PDP, FIRS, others payment. Tinubu approve extension ends today. Germany, Russia, Turkey on defaulters list. And basically that is it. And we have the picture here, a picture of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and of course the FCT minister, Mr. Project, the other person that Nyesom Wike, and of course we have here Dr. Mariam Mahmood, Honorable Minister of the FCT, and basically that's it on the Punch newspaper. Now, one of the stories that's actually caught my eye is the Discos raise bill 107% despite poor power, and you see, back to back when it comes to issues, I always mention, like I've said it before, it doesn't, even if there is a rise when it comes to electricity and payments and all of that, just give me value for money. When it doesn't serve when it should be, then it's a problem. That's when individuals will actually complain. I'm not getting value for money, and there's no stable power. It's just unfortunate that we keep talking about this, and it just feels as if we just keep talking about it, and it's becoming worse by the day. And 107% is no joke. It's really high. A lot of people are paying for so much and getting less for what they pay for. It's just unfortunate that this is it. And I'm saying it's not funny anymore. A lot of people are not finding it funny at all.
You know, sometimes you'll be forced to think Nigerians have been taken for granted.
That is it.
And one of the questions that I keep asking myself is, what are the authorities doing? Nigerians complain, not as if the authorities are not even aware of what is happening, but then everyone is quiet. There's been a cry for a very long time for estimated billing system, which is unacceptable. You're not giving me the meter. I want to pay for it. If you want me to get it, but it's not even available. Why is it not available?
And don't forget, sorry Ramsey to interject, and don't forget the meter is supposed to be free.
That's it.
But a lot of people are paying a lot.
Meter, transformer, this is responsibility.
180,000, in some areas. It's not even stable. And it's just, and this is my right. I am actually going to pay. It's not. You're not giving me.
You're doing business here.
Exactly. Because just give me free meter, and yet I'm not getting.
Give me free meter, so that when you want to come collect your money, you know how much. It's just like you selling something to me. Maybe I walk into a supermarket and I pick what I wanted to pick. You know, in a cellophane or whatever bag that I have, polythene bag. Then I take it to the counter where I'm supposed to make payment. It is the responsibility of the cashier to check what I have paid to know how much it's worth. The same thing is applicable to this power supply. What the meter does is to tell you the quantity of power the individual household have actually consumed. That is where you can bill from. Now, what you are using to bill me, you want me to pay for it. And Nigerians are not complaining, but then the unavailability of it is the painful aspect. Then we keep having increase, hike on a daily basis. Recently, they came out to say, well, people are categorized into bands, band A, band B, band C, band whatever. I don't even know the band that I am.
But I can tell you where you are. It's very simple. Do you have 24 hours?
I don't have. Does anybody have 24 hours? C. Are you sure it's not G? I don't know.
Ramsey. Are you sure it's not G? But if you're in band A, you have light 24/7. And if you're in band B,
so okay, there are people who have light 24 hours uninterrupted. Like the light to go off and the children will start crying. Hey, we've not seen this before.
Some, you know, if you know you're in band C is when you can stay without power for 3 days and you're fine.
Well, I don't know. I think the bands should be spelled out. Let's all know the bands that we are in.
Exactly.
But then all the same, I think the authorities need to do something very quickly to avert this situation, because if you're paying and you're not getting a commensurate service, it is injustice to the people.
Yes, it is.
Like my colleague have said, and that's trampling on someone's right, because going to collect money for a service you never rendered is stealing. Okay, that is 419 as the case may be, because that is collecting money from people by trick. But then some persons are having the light, so if you have, you pay. If you don't have, you just talk with these people and see how it's gonna go. All right, let's get to the next paper, which is the Daily Trust newspaper. On the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, we have a few headlines, beginning from this one, which says, well, I think the big story. Okay, let me just start from the other stories first. ACF to president, prioritize governance over re-election. The one for 2027 is intensive, so ACF is speaking to the president here. Democracy Day, president to address joint session of National Assembly. Naval officer stabbed to death in Kaduna State. And now to the star story on the Daily Trust newspaper 2027 is the Kika division in Tinubu's base. Division in Tinubu's base. Well, if you want to know what the division is, you can pick a copy of the Daily Trust newspaper. From the Daily Trust, you will get to know what it is. Hajj, that's the kicker, how 7 Nigerians pilgrim died in Saudi Arabia. Is it this recent pilgrim?
Yeah, it has to be, unfortunately.
7 Nigerian pilgrims. What's the problem? Was it a stampede or something?
Maybe it's...
If you want to know the details, just pick a copy of the Daily Trust newspaper, and on the Daily Trust newspaper you'll get to know why 7 Nigerians died in Saudi Arabia attending the pilgrimage. And this one says, residents, experts raise alarm over state of FCT abattoirs. We need to talk about this. We will return to it because we really need to talk about this. Because, well, we'll talk about that. To contend, top contenders square up for Anambra governorship. Details read on page 13, I beg your pardon. Kano GSM market fire. Traders count losses. What's responsible for this fire needs to be talked about. One of the stories that I would like to talk about briefly is that of the abattoir. Residents, experts raise alarm over state of FCT abattoirs. I think sometimes if you see the way they slaughter cows and whatever goats at the abattoir, you will never want to eat meat anywhere anymore, because if you want to talk about hygiene, that is out of it. If you even see the place where they do these things, if you see how it is, then moving this meat from the abattoir to where they sell it, if you see the way they carry it, you will not want to eat meat anymore. But sometimes you don't know where this meat is coming from. And we're talking about hygiene here. The economy is so sweet right now. Let me use that word. The economy is so sweet right now. So you can't even afford to fall ill, because if you get to the hospital, remember, primary health care I've been on strike in FCT for a very long time. People keep asking me, was it over the weekend also? Someone was asking me, have they suspended a strike? And I told the person they've not. I've not heard.
At all.
And this is one area. Infrastructure is very important. We all know infrastructure is very important, but people need to be alive to use these infrastructures. And that's the reason Nigerians will keep saying, in as much as we are putting up structures, it is good. It is development. We also need to take into cognizance some very important aspects, and that's the health sector for me, because we know how doctors are running out. The few that we have that are attending to the people now going on strike, it's disaster altogether for the country. So the FCT minister, the president, the minister of health, everyone needs to look into this critically. How is this abattoirs maintained? How do they move this meat from one place to the other? How long does this meat stay? Does it stay overnight? Does it stay 2-3 days? Do they have to mix it with the recent one to sell? I think there should be people who monitor all of this.
Yeah, talking about the abattoir, I think it's not all. I've been to one since I got to one in Cairo. There's one there.
You've been to abattoir.
Yes, I had to go there because I needed to.
It's better to see for yourself.
I had to see.
I think that's very important. I think instead of just buying anyhow, go to where the abattoir and just pick from there, from the place where it's neat.
Because they tell you, because these butchers, there are some that are very truthful, would tell you the truth because they know, they have the fear of it. I tell you, when you meet a butcher, you meet someone in the marketplace that is into business that tells you the truth, just know that person has the fear of God. It doesn't matter, he doesn't want to make so much gain. Well, he knows that there's more to life than all of these things. I have gone to one and I was curious and I said, my friend, if this meat remains, what do you do with it? He says, see now, madam, there is a freezer behind me.
Okay, it's
I said, what happens to as a journalist, you have to be very inquisitive. What happens to so that's why they have stacks of ice. They put the ice on it and all of that. But at the same time, some of these butchers are very funny. Some will give you, there are some meats they tell you, they are camel meat, or whatever. You're not smart, you might just buy the wrong one. And I think...
Do they eat camel meat?
Stay there. I don't know. But the truth of the matter is about abattoirs and the rate in which it is, and the state in which it is in some parts in the FCT, I think proper sanitization is not done. These individuals, some of them, but there should be an awareness on how to keep those places clean. When it comes to using, detergents, using all of these, chemicals to wash and clean the place so it will even smell well. Very important. I know it's meat, I know it has to do with all of it, but there's always a way that a day should be used. Maybe before they even slaughter these, either the cow, the goat, ram, they should clean it up very well before they, not just with water, but a lot. And the passage in which it goes through is the channel. It's very important. So you won't, a lot of things need to be done. And individuals, you're talking about, where these beef and all of that. That's why you should take it upon yourself to use salt when you buy beef in the market and all of that. You should wash it properly before you cook it. I know when you cook it takes away all the germs, but you should wash properly with salt because, like you said, if you see how these meats are carried, you'll be irritated. You'll never want to eat meat or anything like that again.
Well, that's the size of the headlines from the Daily Trust newspaper over to you.
And of course, quickly now, we're going to move quickly to the Nation newspaper, and we're going to quickly run down so we can wrap it up on the newspaper review segment. And here it says, Lagos fully aligned with Tinubu, says Sanwo-Olu. Of course, that is the governor of Lagos State. And it says, domestic forex inflow highest in 6 years. And you can find that read on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Alake in Australia, Versity over mining partnership. That you can see on page 2. And of course, that's a good one there, at least so we can at least headway.
We need it. We need a lot of partnership.
We need a lot of partners.
And look at natural resources here.
Exactly.
Instead of having these illegal miners, let's have legal miners and make money out of these natural resources that we
And
have.
of course, the right channel, individuals who knows
what
bring on
to do.
board, so we can know how we can channel this into wealth, very importantly. And then, of course, security firm joins forces with Navy on Ondo waterways. Great one there, because piracy and all of that. And you can find that read on page 5. And same story there with the picture story of our dear president, other than President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the FCT minister, and of course the Minister of State. That's a picture story there. And then I will quickly move to the Guardian newspaper, and Ramsey will be running us through that.
All right, let's quickly run through the Guardian newspaper and see how guarded are we. On the Guardian newspaper this morning, let me begin from this one directly below the main mask. It says economy back on track, but not vet Uhurum, says Bagudu. All right, June 12, Tinubu to address NAS confirmation. Okay, confirmation honors on lawmakers, so they will be conferring some presents. The big story now says businesses leverage price adjustment to rein in FX losses, clean books. Details read on page 6. Troops uncover 27 illegal oil sites, arrest 43, Niger Delta. Kwankwaso receive 1,230 APC supporters to NNPP. This is I think this sounds strange somehow, because it has been the other way around, massive exodus of people to the ruling party. Now we're hearing, well, Kano State is a different ball game.
Yes, it is.
When it comes to Kano. You don't just compare Kano to any other state when it comes to politics.
And someone might ask you, why, Ramsey? Why?
I don't know. The Kwankwasias, they are always on top of their game. And that's why during election, people will tell you, hey, come on, let's just wait for Kano results.
Yes,
Kano result. Is Kano result out now? Is Kano result out yet? We're hearing from Kano State. Well, this is a defection right there. It's normal. It's normal. From APC to other parties, from other parties to APC. Ondo PDP berates Ayedatiwa's refusal to complete Akeredolu's project. Continuity, very important. We don't have continuity in Nigeria. Okay, Akeredolu is gone. Ayedatiwa, the jeopardy has taken over. He has won his election, but then refusing to complete Akeredolu's project. Well, this needs to be looked into.
I think it needs to be looked into, because that project must be in London.
If it is for the people, why not complete it?
You know, that's the thing. I always say something. I say, put your sentiments aside when it comes to power. I know sentiments will play a big role, but the truth is, when you're in power, it's not you now. It's the people whom you represent, the people that you owe it to, that you are there. So if there is a project that will be beneficial to the people of that particular state, why don't you just do it? You see a lot of projects that are abandoned, and that is why there is no headway when it comes to infrastructure in that particular state or the environment in which these individuals are. I think it's unfair to the people, because that project would have done a lot when it comes to either employment, either, you know, a lot of good deeds that will come to that state. So whatever it is, whatever issues you must have with the person, move on. You're already in power.
Do you know what I'm thinking right now? Jumai?
What are you thinking about?
In every public office, especially political office, the definition of democracy should be written on the wall in front of the seat of the officer. Let them know what the definition of democracy is. As a reminder.
Really?
And they should also know that the people are entitled to enjoy the dividends of democracy.
Yeah.
We know. We just need to balance the story. We know that every governor have his own priority.
True.
Okay? It could be that these projects are not part of his priority, but that it has kick-started. And they might be budget for it, as a matter of fact.
Not mine.
There should be.
What is the budget for? Are you kidding me?
I'm just saying, since there is a budget for it, just complete it. If your own allocation comes, you go with your priority. We are just thinking as Nigerians, we are just saying this, all right, based on what Nigerians are saying. So it will be good if projects in Nigeria have continuity. This one says, we lost millions to Durbar cancellation. Kano government laments. Lagos political storm clears as Tinubu forgives Solu in GAC broker trade. You're wondering why I was laughing? I was smiling because I was reading, then you laughed out. Well, see, politics is a game. If you don't understand it until tomorrow, you're joking. Well, that's it. The good thing is the reconciliation, of course. This is father and son.
Peace, of course.
Very important. I'm running off right here. This one says, Sarah Horua urges Tinubu to drop APC regs. Fear manipulation. You can read this on page 5, and that's okay. This one says imperative of full disclosure of in Emefele's 753 Abuja duplexes. One person, 753 duplexes. I don't know how many is going to live inside. This is just one out of so many. But we have people living under the bridge in Lagos. We have people living in shanties at the FCT. But only one person is owning this number of duplexes. Well, that's the size of the headline right now from the Guardian newspaper.
Yes, and I'll be taking us to the last paper of the newspaper review segment, and that is the Vanguard. And above the nameplate, that one of the stories that cracked me up when Dempsey read it out was Tinubu to someone who your sins are forgiven. And of course, the writer there says, as GAC visits president in Abuja. And here it says, our economy is back on track, and that's from Bagudu. Now the hardship here, the side of the story says Nigerians cut spending on foreign travels by 30%. And below the nameplate, of course, that same pictures, the pictures that we saw there of President, FCT Minister, and the Minister of State. And basically, that is it on Vanguard newspaper. And we're going to wrap it up now on the newspaper review segment. Hope you've learned one or two. Of course, the dailies are made available. Go out and get yourself a copy of the National Daily to be well abreast with issues making round, for you to understand why some actions are taken when it comes to the newspaper. And at this point, we're just going to sit back and relax because I'm a bit hungry now. And that is why the next segment is all about food, taste and texture. Let's see what Sharon Ajay has for us this morning, so we can eat, take a break, sit back, relax, and then come back, talk about it a bit, and move to the next segment. Stay tuned. It's Global Morning on Global Television. Do not go anywhere. The program continues.
Good morning, Global Morning hosts. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Taste and Texture. I am Sharon Ajay. Today we will be discussing about masa, how to make masa. Well, multi-Nigerian specialty masa, also known as waina, are spherical fermented cakes often served as an accompaniment to breakfast, lunch, dinner, or as a snack. Its soft, spongy interior, crunchy shell, and sweet sour flavor is particularly delicious when served sweet with a drizzle of honey or any sweetened syrup and fruits, or savory with suya. Of course, we all know suya, sprinkled with the famous yaji alongside soups and stew. Making masa takes some time. The great thing is that most of it is hands off, and you can break up the steps. Measure rice into a medium bowl. Cover rice with room temperature water. Using your hands or a spoon to vigorously stir rice until water turns cloudy, about 30 seconds. Cover bowl with a cover or a plastic bowl and let the rice sit and soak for about 12 hours to 24 hours. The rice will whiten, almost double in volume, soften, and might be breaking or crumbling when rubbed, or it may have a slight sweet aroma. Pour rice and soaking water into strainer and drain well, then discard soaking water. Then proceed to put another rice into a clean pot. Turn on it and cook for about 15 to 20 minutes until rice is soft. In a high-powered blender jar, combine soaked rice, cooked rice, and blend until a smooth, thick, and creamy batter forms about 30 seconds. In another bowl, put in your yeast, sugar, salt, and some room temperature water and mix together, then cover with a plastic wrap or cover with just a good cover that has a good tight lid for about 30 to 40 minutes. Next, using a pantry brush or a teaspoon, grease each well of the pan with oil, which should pool slightly in each well. Set pan over medium heat and heat until oil is shimmering. Add batter to each well. As the batter cooks, the bottom firms up and forms a soft shell while the top will become dotted with bubbles. Cook until the edges begins to dry and form a cooked rim about some inch thick. The center will still be liquid, and that should take about 1 minute. Using a chopstick or spoon, flip masa as they are ready and cook for 1 to 2 minutes. Flipping the masa while the center is liquid prevents the masa from having large holes. Continue to cook, flipping about 3 to 4 times until crunchy and deep golden brown all over, and that should take about 4 to 5 minutes longer. Then transfer masa to a serving plate or bowl and partially cover to keep warm. Regrease each well and repeat with remaining batter, reducing heat as needed, or if you are at risk of scorching. Allow masa to cool for 5 to 10 minutes. Serve warm with yaji and suya for a savory take, or drizzle with honey and serve with fresh fruits alongside a sweet version. Enjoy your masa. Well, that's it on Taste and Texture. I am Sharon Ajay. Global Morning continues.
Of course, that was a very mouth-watering, delicious episode of Taste and Texture. Talking about masa. You know, masa is one of my best. It's a northern delicacy, and you can eat that with, you can see that yaji there, you can have it with sauce.
It's the reason we're punctuating. I want mine floppy. I'll add egg. I will do this. I'll do this. I love this. I love masa. I love eating it with this. I love eating it. If you stay with Jumai when this Taste and Texture is going on, when Sharon is doing it, you're not having a choice than to celebrate. I just did. I think I need to do that confession.
Yeah. You know, especially masa. You know, it's healthy. You can add either sugar or you can leave it plain with salt. But for me, I love to add the egg white, not the yolk, the white, to make it really fluffy and really nice.
Okay, the white. You remove the yolk.
No. Yeah, you remove the yolk and you just leave the white, and then with the mixture where she covered it up, just add it up and you mix it nicely. And then we can add, like I have a sweet tooth, like for everyone that knows, I add sugar. Some people just add a little bit of salt, and then you just fry it up. Some people love to eat that with either, suya, gas meat, suya, like in Maiduguri. When Unimade, there's gas meat.
Well, I don't know, but then for me, the men, I think if it is sweet, we just eat, like munch.
Yeah.
I call it munching. We just munch and get on with whatever. If not that she's talking about removing the yolk now, I don't even know the difference. All that the men know is the food is there. As soon as it is ready, it's tasty, you just munch. And maybe because there is so much in the head to be done. Because
there's so much in the head with women also, and yet we still need to put all of these things in order. But really, you should go out and try out Masa. If you've not had breakfast this morning, please, Masa is one breakfast you should have with either tea, coffee, whatever, but at the same time, or sauce. It's really, really nice.
What of cocoa?
It will not go.
It won't go.
It's not nice, no. Just
okay, it won't go with pap, it won't go with cocoa.
No, are you kidding me? You either eat it with the vegetable stew, the biscuit bone that comes with it if you want to, really nice, or just have it with your tea or coffee.
Please don't make people salivate. Okay. Just give it a try, okay? Just give it a try.
Give it a try. And at this point, up next is, let's say what's happening on the social media. Over now to Ogochukwu Mobano with Social Buzz. Stay tuned.
Deception lurks in every corner as fraudsters weaves complex webs of lies. Trust is shattered and victims left to pick up their pieces. Good morning and welcome to Social Buzz on Global Morning. I am Ogochukwu Mobnor. Today on Social Buzz, EFCC declares 2 more suspects wanted over 1 billion naira CBEX fraud. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has declared 2 suspects named Folashade Adelana and Bamidele Ayodele Abiodun wanted in connection with the alleged 1 billion naira cryptocurrency scam linked to Crypto Bridge Exchange, CBEX. The anti-graft agencies urge members of the public with useful information on their whereabouts to contact any of its offices nationwide. This latest development brings the number of individuals declared wanted in connection with the CBEX fraud to 10. In April 2025, CBEX users raised alarm after they were unable to access or withdraw their investments. The incident, which affected many Nigerians, sparked public outrage as several people claimed to have lost significant amounts of money to the failed cryptocurrency platform. Earlier, the EFCC declared 8 individuals wanted in connection with the case. Ola Olukoyede, chairman of the EFCC, assured victims of the financial scam that the commission is making progress in the investigation and recovery efforts. He said a reasonable amount of funds has already been recovered and some arrests have been made. Let's take a look at this video.
We have gone far with CBEX. We've been able to recover a significant amount of money, even though in crypto wallet, in the wallet, the same way the money was taken from them. That's no way you get the dollars in cash without necessarily going through the same process. We have gone far, we have made reasonable arrests. People are talking. Like I said, we're not going to give out much because we don't want the process to be initiated. We are still after quite a number of people that we have declared wanted. We are still investigating a lot of wallets. And I'll just give a bit of an example of how this data thing worked so that people in Nigerians will also be aware. Now they came in, most of these perpetrators are foreigners. They came in and made the services of Nigerians who register companies for them. Whether at that stage, whether they knew what they were going to go into was fraudulent or not, but from our investigation we are getting close to that. So they registered the companies and they used them to create awareness. In fact, they have seminars. They have the tape of their seminars and their conferences. They bring in professionals, people who are specialists in capital market. Yes, there was a case that they put a PhD holder, a specialist in capital market, is also talking to us now. And so they brought them in, they lecture people. So when you see such caliber of people, you will be convinced. So people started going, withdrawing their money, changing it into dollar. From dollar, they now put it in cryptocurrency, that is crypto wallets. So from that, they moved the money to other cryptocurrency wallets. Now, so the reason why they move the money to, we call them non-custodial wallets. In other words, we don't make KYC, we can't trace to anybody. So from the
Wow. That is an impressive one from the EFCC there. Thank you, Olukoyede, the EFCC that are really doing a lot to make sure that these fraudsters are being brought to book. And, you know, we really need to commend these people for all they have been doing, honestly. So we're going straight to comment on social media. And our first comment for the day is from Dukes of Babylon. Dukes of Babylon says, Nigerian victims will rejoice soon, but it's high time we created an awareness for Ponzi scheme. Indeed, it is high time we create this awareness for Ponzi scheme. The next comment is coming from Alao Adeyemi, and he says, if this is true, it deserves a lot of commendation, and I will say it is the best thing that has come out of the EFCC in a very long while. Well, I will not agree with you, Mr. Alao. The EFCC has really been doing very, very well to make sure that any offenders are brought to book and justice is being served. Well, the third comment, the last but not the least today, is coming from Afro Ikenga. Afro Ikenga says, this is great news. Special thanks to the EFCC, and there should be an awareness to educate Nigerians properly about Ponzi scheme. Indeed, there should be awareness to educate them because, you know, Nigerians have really been victims of Ponzi scheme coming from MMM and other Ponzi scheme, and a lot of people have lost lives, properties, and even, you know, money to all of this Ponzi scheme. And I hope we've learned from whatever mistakes that Nigerians have made over the past. But, you know, kudos to EFCC, the body in charge, for all of this. Thank you so much today, and that's it on our Social Buzz. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I am Ogochukwu Mobno. Do stay with us as Global Morning continues.
All right, you're welcome back from the report of Social Buzz. Hope you're well abreast with what's going on around the EFCC and all of that encompassed. Well, at about this point, we'll be looking at, you know, let's talk about more about the Salah celebration. A lot of people will be wondering, and Rams, you guys didn't give us deets what happened on Sunday, on Saturday, how people are faring when it comes to issues around and you know,
the celebration, despite
everyone finding it hard when it comes to buying stuff, when it comes to all of that. We know it's all about coming together, celebrating, showing love and care, but some people find it
the truth is, let me tell you, the truth is, some persons celebrated this Salah robustly, but we still had some people who were indoors throughout, probably because they don't have money to go to amusement parks, go to places where they can have fun and all of that. But then it's so important, like you said something very vital, and that's for me. When you talked about the Father, there is life, and for the Father, you are alive to see this Salah. Whether you have so much or you have little, whatever you have, celebrate with it, and Allah understands. At least you fasted, and that's the greatest reward, you know. So some persons were at the park, some persons were at home, some persons visited their loved ones. You know, people traveled, and the reason why people travel during celebrations like this is so they can see people they've not seen in a very long time, their loved ones and all of that. I was thinking, the fair, moving from one place to the other, the fair is something else.
Yes, it is.
I could remember when our correspondent visited the park to see how things were going, and you need to hear what people are saying. Drivers are complaining, you know, passengers are complaining.
Yes.
So the complaint is not that the drivers are making so much and the passengers are spending so much. There is a complaint coming from both sides. Then you move from there, you get to the park where you have children, you have adults. And one thing that I notice with this celebration is that it brings people together. Because you get to the parks, you see someone celebrating, someone can just call you, oh, this is Massa here. Just have, and there is sharing, and there is love in sharing.
I know there is love, but talking about the fare, a lot needs to be done when it comes to transportation. There is a high cost when it comes to travel.
Both on land, on air.
Oh my God.
The sea, I don't really know about that of the sea.
Are you kidding me? But the thing is, there is a high cost and it's affecting everyone. Traveling by, aside all of that, do you know how much it is to travel by air from Abuja to Lagos? It is a lot. Especially for those who might be traveling business class or economy or all of that. It is a lot, Ramsey. This time, it's a lot. And that is why it is wise. Like the Holy Book says, wisdom is profitable to direct. And that is why some people always book ahead. I think booking ahead is it's really wise. It's really, really wise because the high cost of transportation, and someone will say, Juma, it's not because, it's not the airline's fault. It's the tax and all of those payments that you make that are attached that makes it so high for people to and you think it's so high. And at the same time, looking at the cost of fuel, for instance, now, the removal of subsidy has done a lot of harm than good because normally you could travel to Lagos with less than 7,000 naira back in the day, 8,000 naira. But now
if you're even following these night buses, you spend less.
You spend less, exactly. But now you pay as high as 20,000, 15. Some won't tell you 25. It's high. And then traveling, then back in the day, how much did we travel by air? We could travel from when I was a Unimaid, back in the day, from Lagos to Maiduguri was 20,000 naira. Back in the day.
Now that's a very long time.
That's a very long time.
That's a very long time.
But now you pay as high as 180, 200. Sometimes it depends. And it's just unfortunate that this is what it is now. The economy right now, Ramsey. I told you that I travel. This is the second time that you travel by air. Aside paying so much. Now the airlines, I don't want to mention the airline. I'm not going to do that. I won't do that. I'm not that kind of person. But a passenger complained yesterday. Now, why would you give us water in a disposable cup? What happened to why didn't you just give us, when it comes to bottled water, then give you, that's what some airlines do. They give you in disposable cups. They get bigger water bottles and they tell you, would you want water? And they give you in a disposable cup. And I feel it's not right. I paid for this, so just give me the value which it comes with. And to make myself worse, I went to a supermarket with mine. I almost did a store, but I knew they would have bundled me out of that place. I went to a very prominent supermarket, and then I was shocked. And I could see the look on her face when she said, Auntie, here's what's going to happen now. And the cashier asked, do you have a polythene bag? Yes, to put your things. Are you kidding me? Or you buy one? Either, because even if you're good, and the guy behind me said, please attend to me, I have my polythene. I was like, and I just said, okay, please go ahead, because I need to digest what I just heard now. Now this is the norm now. That
maybe the other person is used to the system.
It's used to the system. But that is the thing. Why I don't want to be used to that kind of system that it is my right. I thought the normal, conventionary marketplace that I would like the normal market I go to at maybe Wutako, and then I know that I have to get a nylon bag or something, but it comes with that right of that little nylon bag. But if I'm going to buy something bigger, it comes with a bigger one. But for you to tell me that for me to put in all my goods, I need to buy that to put it in.
Before now,
it wasn't like that.
Even what we have before now is a branded, a polythene bag by the supermarket, so that will serve as an advert for them. That is one. Then secondly, instead of you asking your customers whether they have a polythene bag, because someone can just stop by and decide to pick something and may not have a polythene bag, and then you have to buy at 100 naira. Instead of you, because there is something we call customer relations. Instead of you making the customer know that the customer is buying a polythene bag, all right, because the person needs to put his or her goods, why not charge the price of the polythene bag on the product? Exactly. On the goods. Then you can just give them polythene bag, smiling as if you're doing them favor, but they've already paid for it. And this is wisdom. We're talking about business here. You know, a lot of Nigerians don't know these things. Then coming back to the second discussion where we talk about the airline. You know, in Nigeria when we talk about airline, people feel, well, it's none of our business, it's the cream of the society. That's what some people feel. So when we're talking about airline, how many people come to discuss about, well, hike in, airfare? You'll get a lot of people complaining about, because the average Nigerian tends to use that more compared to the air. But then I think things are changing. A lot of things are changing alongside with the economy, and that's the reason you see things like that happening when someone will have to give you in an aircraft, someone is giving you water in a disposable cup. Will they have to pass a waste bin for you to dispose it? Or come back and they tell you if you want to dispose. Well, that's an innovation. We are getting to know this now. Nigerians can now know what we are talking about. So I think it's very important for us to know that things are changing. And we need to change it.
Is it changing for the better though, or is changing into the mindset in which we have to project and program our minds because of the recent happenings of the economy? Yes, is it that kind of change? The change that we want is the one that will be beneficial, that will all be smiling at the same time.
For you, you're complaining. The airline is not complaining. They feel they are comfortable with it. That's why they are doing it.
That's because a lot of Nigerians do not understand that it is wrong. Like back in the day, it used to be the bottled water, but now you give in disposable cups. What does it teach you? What is it telling you?
It's telling you that the economy and the cost of maintaining an aircraft has increased, and instead of not flying at all, it's better. But then make these things known. Nigerians are very understanding people. Talk to the passengers. This is what is obtainable now. You know, before now, this is how we treat you. But then the reception and the treatment is going to be this way from now, for reason A, reason B, or C. I think that will be better. Instead of you just going straight, like you will walk into that supermarket for the first time, you have an impression about that supermarket because you don't even know what's going on. You're experiencing this for the first time, so you will be surprised. But if there is a notice to that effect, maybe at the door, or maybe someone make you understand, auntie, as you're going inside, this is what we do. You need to get a nylon, or somebody stay by the door and sell polythene bag, and explain why you need to get the polythene bag. It wasn't like that back in the day. But things are changing rapidly, and we need to change alongside with it, because instead of businesses not running at all, they need to reduce one or two things for these businesses to run, so that it can boost our economy.
But at the same time, Ramsey, as much as I agree with your view, even if you're going to do such a thing, make me, like you mentioned, make me understand, tell me why. Don't make it look as if it is your right, and the way you put your face like I'm doing, you're not doing me a favor. No, don't get it twisted. You're not. I am doing you a favor, because despite your low capacity, I'm still there going to buy this one.
Oh, is that what you said? Thank God you didn't mention this supermarket.
Yeah, but the truth is,
thank God you didn't mention it.
Yeah, you're not doing it.
I'm very sure that wasn't in FCT. I don't think so.
But I don't think so. I am doing you a favor because I am patronizing you. So the least you can do for me is to say, oh, I'm really sorry. You know what's happening, please try and understand and all of that. This and
Joy, I want you to understand something. The individual, that I don't know if it was a lady or a guy, if the person was frowning or doesn't look cheerful while speaking to you, then it's that person's fault. The person doesn't have the basic customer relations truth. The person may not know what it is. So I think the individual matters, but then that person representing the organization and behaving like that, the person has given you an impression about that supermarket. But God so kind, you did mention the name of that supermarket, so you don't know. But then whoever or whatever it is, well, it has happened and it has happened. Let people know.
And that's why we need to talk about customer-friendly attitude. It's very important.
I think that's
it's very important. One should. I think training is very important. You know, people just go into jobs because at the end of the day is what I get.
Whose fault it is? The employer.
Yeah,
because the person went through an interview.
No, the economy.
Not the economy. If you hire a wrong staff who is not representing the organization, it's not the fault of the economy.
That's why people delve into things that as long as I get paid at the end of the month, I'm good. And that's why most individuals who are teachers today, they look at their discipline and
schools who employ them are schools who want to manage staff.
And that is why they say first impression matters a lot. And that is why at the beginning when the person comes in, he shows all this high aura of I can do the job, I'm good to go. And at the end of it all, give the person 6 months, it starts reducing, starts dwindling down. You know why? He's not passionate. I'm doing it because at the end of the day, he might even miss lectures and tell you, oh, don't worry, or when you're supposed to give notes, you tell the students, oh, go to the internet and do it, because he's not passionate about the job. He's only doing it because at the end of the month, at least that money can pay and do some things. And that's why a lot need to be done in the economy. Really. And that is why most people are into jobs they are not passionate about. It's all about what they get at the end of it all. And that's why most supermarkets just do what they want because they feel Nigerians, we can get away with a lot of things. Sometimes you cannot get away with such. Make me understand.
You can only do that when there is no option, but where there are a lot of supermarkets. But then if you hire a staff that is not fit for the job, I think I want to blame it all on the human resource, the person who employed the guy or the lady who needed a job, want to do it at all costs. I can do the job is not enough to get someone employed because you need to check their experience, let them go through an interview, and of course you will get to know whether or not they are fit.
And at the same time, with the oil that you bring, like I can do, can it stand the test of time? That's what we should know. All right, now we are going to move over to our first discuss of the day on Global Morning. Do not go anywhere. The program continues shortly. Stay tuned.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics. And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into variety of current affairs and topics. And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is a top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into variety of current affairs and topics. And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is a top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into variety of current affairs and topics. And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Welcome back. It's Global Morning on Global Television, and yes, this is the first segment of the first discuss of the day, and I have a guest in the studio, but before then, we're looking at the gale of defections as it continues, especially with speculations about pressures
been mounted on Plateau State governor. Now we're looking at the implications for eternal democracy and governance. And I am not doing it alone. I have my guest, Mr. Isa Aliyu Shatta. He is the Regional Director, African Quorum Group. You are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here. And how was the silent celebration? Let's just
great. We thank God we are alive to see another Salah, so we need to thank God for that. But the hardship continues.
The hardship continues. Now, looking at these defections, now, what could be the motivation for the series of defections we are seeing in the ruling All Progressive Congress?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of factors that probably would have, although there are insinuations that some of them are being coerced, and probably there are some corruption allegation against, some. So it's a trade-off. Just like the popular statement that the then APC chairman, now a senator, Adams Oshiomhole said, that if you join APC, all your sins are forgiven. Right, and if you look at what has been happening, right, I remember that the former governor of Delta State, was initially picked up by EFCC, and after the defection, nothing happened again. So we want to liken that to the statement that the then APC chairman and now the senator and former governor of Edo State, said. So if you look at it, Nigerians are actually watching the scene, right? Another factor is there's this fear factor where you see some of them are one-time governors, and like they always say in politics, there is no permanent enemy but permanent interest, and the majority of them are looking out for themselves rather than for the collective. So they are looking at already calculating for 2027 so that they can have the buy-in of the current ruling party, right, and win their second term. And for me, I see them being really levered, because the truth is, if democracy, the principle of democracy, if it thrives in Nigeria, and if we practice democracy the way it is, I think there will be that fear, for them to defect or cross carpet, right? And we are in a place where that integrity is no longer seen. People don't have that integrity anymore. They don't even care because they feel what we call pocket character, which is the money, we always see them through, which has always been the case anyways for some or majority of the elections that we have seen. This is not the first time actually that you see this mass defection from opposition party to ruling party in Nigeria.
Mr. Isa Aliyu Shatta, let's quickly go on a very quick break. The program continues shortly. Stay tuned.
is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily. Apologies for that very short break, and we're back now and we are better. And I'm still here with Mr. Isa Ali Shatta. Of course, he is the Regional Director, Africa Quorum Group, and he's here trying to break it down, talking about the defections here and there, especially the persuasion of the Plateau State Governor. And he said something very vital. He said integrity, because I asked the question, the motivation for the series of defection we're seeing in the All Progressive Congress, and he said it's talking about integrity. Can you delve a little on that? Integrity, talking about people not having that integral being within them for defection that is ongoing.
Yeah, so if you have a moral conscience, right, you contested against the ruling party and you won as an opposition. How did you win the election? You didn't have to, get any support from the opposition party to win your election, which means that the people spoke, and they spoke loudly, right? Everything went through the series of tribunals, to Supreme Court, and you won. So it means the people have the say at the end of the day, and you can never have your way if they don't have their say. Now, if that happened and the people have given you the mandate to serve them, if you have a moral conscience, if you have integrity, that conscience will prick you to say, the people have given me this mandate, to represent them, right, as their leader. Why should I cross carpet, to the opposition party that they did not, vote for, right? And what makes you think that you are going to win election if you defect to the ruling party? Because our politicians don't really learn from history. You see, I remember vividly that we have a situation whereby a sitting speaker lost his election in Ogun State, Bankole, right? The daughter of the then president, Yabo Obasanjo, lost her election as well. So eventually, people will really have that power to vote either for you or against you. So they don't have that moral conscience, and they feel, okay, because they are now in power and they are also together with the ruling party, they have all of the state apparatus